Do 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 do.
Man, guys, I know last week you loved having Eli on.
Yeah,
Like, he was so much fun,
it was awesome.
and, man, we loved having him, an awesome guest, awesome dude, and, I love the fact that he just combines his humor with his talent and also his faith, man. Like,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. So, again, for the first time ever, you are getting a second dose of Eli. Because one dose of Eli is not enough.
it was not.
No.
I'm still thirsty. I need another dose.
Yeah.
I mean, he was he'll love that.
Yeah. So, Eli,
That's for you, buddy. We're ready. We're drinking up.
and you guys sit and enjoy the ride.
All right. Thank you, guys.
I'd like to introduce myself. I don't believe that we have ever met. I think that we could hit it off so well. Let me paint a picture, you and me together. I'd like to introduce myself.
Man, well, one of the segments that we always try to do is called Milk of Human Kindness.
Yeah.
So what this is just like a really good, like heartwarming story that you got. It could have happened through music or through anything else, but we'd love to hear one.
Yeah, dude. That's when you guys told me about this segment, I got thinking about it. There's a lot of good ones, but I'll do the one that probably impacted me the most was I had just moved to Nashville, and in the middle of that, I was here under 2 years. I can't remember if it was in my first year or not, but I was driving around a little Honda Accord that I had, which my whole car thing, when I first moved to Nashville, I had a Kia Soul. I owned it for I had just paid it off, dude. I had that thing
Right.
for a year before I moved. I just paid it off. I moved to Nashville. It blew up on the interstate within 2 months. And then it was like, okay, $12,000 down the drain on that thing. And then then I bought this '06 Honda Accord. It still runs like a sucker. It's actually for sale if anybody wants a rusted up '06 Honda Accord. So we have two call outs if you're a single shoddy or if you're in need of an '06 Honda Accord or both. That could be the first date is you go buy this car from me. No, so I was driving it around and I was taking a little lunch break and I just didn't know my way around town and stuff. So Nashville is so confusing and
Oh yeah.
so I ended up doing a lot of I'd pull in places and just back out and stuff. And so I pull into this apartment complex to just kind of get turned around. And I back up and then there's this car that comes in right behind me, dude. And I reverse, the cop would have thought that he ran into me.
Right.
It was straight up. I just backed into his front. And dude, it was I was like, oh shoot. I can't believe that this just happened. And then my insurance was always weird at that point because it was still I was under my parents' name. My insurance stuff was still going through Ohio and stuff like that. And if I would have been pulled over, if the cops would have been called, I would have gotten more trouble because I didn't have any proof of insurance on me. I had insurance, I just didn't have any proof of it. And so that's this guy. He comes out of his car, and at first, he's obviously rightfully so. He's frustrated at me, and it's one of those moments that I'm like. He gets, his 30 seconds of anger out. What are you doing, man? Can you not hear? He was honking his horn, I guess. And he asked he was like, well, do you have insurance? I was like, yeah, let me get my car. And I couldn't find it. And that kind of gave him a couple seconds. That he kind of cooled down and he was like, listen, man, he was like, people have been very kind to me before. He's like, so I'm just going to do the same thing. He was like, dude, I was going to sell this car anyway. It's not a big deal. I don't want you to have to pay anything or get in trouble or anything. He was like, just pass it on to someone else and just please be careful when you drive. And dude, that was one of those moments that it was just seeing grace or really more so seeing mercy in such a tangible thing that it's man, by all rights, I should have owed that dude a little bit of money and the cops probably could have been called and I should have gotten in trouble for not having everything up to date and stuff like that. But just out of his kindness and out of his mercy, he took the hit. His car was damaged too. He took the hit and let me go free. And I just remember thinking about that night, dude. And I was getting choked up because I was like, man, that times a billion is what Christ did for us. So, that's my story. I love it. And dude, a lot of people are having bad times and stuff. Just being a little extra kind, costing yourself a couple $100 can really go a long way
Right.
towards
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's
showing
huge.
possible fun.
No, that's awesome. So what I do for my full-time job is I actually in Chattanooga we got this awesome program where the public schools teach Bible. And I'm a Bible teacher
Ah,
in a
sick.
middle school. And
Nice.
today we were talking about the Lord's Prayer, and we were talking about that just, that they all loved the forgive me for my sins part, but then when it was like, and help me to forgive others for that that have sinned against me,
Yeah.
they were like, whoa, that's tough, and
Yeah.
we were talking that through, and then one of the kids was just like, this is like a 12-year-old kid. He's like, man, we've been forgiven us so much, like
Mhm.
obviously we should be able to spread that to other people, and it got into the same kind of conversation about just kindness, man. And
Yeah.
it's like no extra effort. It doesn't always cost anything, yeah, it's just like take those extra steps just to be kind, man.
Well, dude, and that stuff, unforgiveness, just it weighs on both people so much. And if you can forgive, that's not just a weight off their shoulder, but it also always ends up being one off of yours.
Right.
And dude, it's just any of this stuff that we're always like so worried and we make such a big deal about in our head. And like it might be a big deal. I mean, like forgiving a stranger for something is one thing, but some dude forgiving his dad or something,
Yeah.
like that stuff can be a lot rougher and take a little bit more courage and stuff. But man, or like even accountability and stuff like that. Man, the amount of things I've just been so embarrassed or like so scared to tell someone about, but I just felt convicted. I always think that when I tell them, man, it's gonna be I'm gonna face a lot of judgment and stuff. And it's just never been that way. It's like I've always just been greeted with love and Holy Spirit has comforted me. And same thing about forgiveness, man. You feel like you feel like this grudge that you're holding is something that's like, well, I get to hold this. I deserve to hold
Yeah.
this. And then it's like, man, you're still holding on something that you were never supposed to carry, and you get to give that up. That's the
Right.
beauty
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
No, I mean, I got a friend of mine and he was hurt, as bad as anybody can be hurt by somebody.
Mhm.
And like I got to see him through this journey of just praying for that person, and it started off like so much pain in those prayers, didn't even want to talk, he's just like, I'm going to close my eyes and be thinking about him because I can't even say the words out loud,
Yeah.
like praying for them and asking for anything good in their lives. And then he started praying for them and through it, he started feeling sympathy for them because of what they have to be going through after the hurt they did in his life. And now like there's so much freedom for him because he has forgiven them and stuff, and it's such a hard but a beautiful process to see somebody you really care about walk through that.
Yeah.
So
No, it's that's the enemy's best trick is trying to make us think that our battle is against other people,
right.
and it's we know from the Bible it's not. It's against the principalities and the rulers of the darkness, and it's just people end up being pawns in that stuff, and humans are human and stuff. And yeah, man, there's real freedom on the other side of that.
No, that's awesome, man. So I want to get into one of our other segments, but one question I've been thinking about, and I hadn't found the right time to put it in, so I'm just
Okay.
gonna put it in at a random time. So your roommates, are they musicians as well, or no?
Yeah, so it's kind of a mixed bag. Actually, one of them right now is playing keys for Cochran and Co.
Oh,
So
nice.
he just wrapped up tour with them. One of my other roommates, he is a audio tech and guitar tech and all that stuff. So we have three of us that tour around and make our whole
Okay,
living
cool.
on the
Nice.
road. So then that leaves the other two, and one is a super creative. That he works at my church as a motion graphics designer and does just absolutely incredible things. I mean, he's very impressive at what he does. And then my other buddy, he is a musician, not professionally, but professionally, he does a lot of cool coding and stuff like that. So we always say that he's the only one with a real job, and the rest of us just play around and draw things and like
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah,
No, that's awesome. Because one thing I was thinking is like what it's like on a night that you just finish a show and it goes great.
Mhm.
Right. And you got all these people excited, all these people are into it, and you got this whole crowd just hyped and everything. And then you come home and it's like, dude, you left your bowl on the counter.
Yeah,
It's like what's that gotta
Yeah.
feel like?
dude, no, it's like the post, especially like when you've been out touring for like a few weeks or something like that. That transition home, man. I started touring. Yeah, yeah. Last year I did a little bit of touring, and I would come home, and sometimes they like this was before I was living with like four other dudes. I just had one other roommate, so it's like I would come home, he'd be out like getting dinner or something. I was just by
Mhm.
myself, and I'm like, man, I went from like getting to like hang out with all these people and do the thing that I love doing the absolute most and hearing like these cool stories and just eating free food and shaking people's hands and getting cheered for and having people sing my song like
Mm.
and then like yeah, it's like okay, now I got to do my laundry, and it's like one of the most humbling things ever. And
Right.
it's really good and that's one of the things I love about not just my roommates but my church community, man. I started going to the church that I'm at about I think 4 years ago now, which is wild, and when I started going there, I mean, I'd been writing some songs and stuff like that, and I think I had even, like, just put out a song just kind of for fun, and so, like, they knew that I was into that stuff, but, things weren't going the way that they've started going, this past year, and, so they've just never cared about that in the
Mhm.
best way possible. They've always been so supportive and stuff, but man, it's just nice having a community of people that like I'm still just their buddy and
Right.
they think of me as the dude that eats a lot of weird stuff and has a lot of weird diets and does a lot of weird things and I don't know. They care about my soul more than
Mhm.
any of my accolades and anything and it's just
Right.
the freedom that I have of knowing that my whole community, if tomorrow, if I just felt like I wasn't supposed to be doing music,
Mhm.
I could hang the hat on that and then they would love
Right.
me and accept me and help me out with whatever came next in life. I mean, that's real freedom.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
so incredible, man. Like, cause I think a lot of people, if you're a musician and you're on tour and everything, and people are getting tickets, going to your shows, they don't think that you're like a normal person,
Right.
because all they see is that part, and it's like, no, man, like you've got people at home that are keeping you in check, that love you, that care more about just your music, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, what's always kind of funny is my friends, there's been a few times now that like one of my friends will realize that my friend is friends with me.
Mhm.
So and then my friend's friend is a fan of the music and didn't know that I went to church with them or whatever. And then that's always kind of interesting that my friends are like, "Yeah, dude, they think you're cool. They don't know that you're a dork," you know?
Right. Right. That's so funny. One of the struggles I'm going through right now as a dad is my 19-year-old son's a firefighter, right?
Oh, wow.
And so he's still living at home and everything. And when he's not at the station, and what it's crazy because like he'll send me a text message. He'll be like, "Hey, Dad, pray for me. I just like we just resuscitated a girl and she's alive and everything, but we're
Wow.
praying for her, taking her to the hospital right now, and keep her in your prayers." And like, dude just saved somebody's life, and I'm like, I brushed my teeth.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like so that's such a unique thing for me right now, like because
yeah.
he's like doing all this, like, and I'm just like, well, I fed the goats, you know? Like,
Dude, yeah, dude, it's such a real thing, and it's, like, kinda what I was talking about earlier, just God has different plans for all of us, and which is amazing, and praise God because, dude, 2 of my best friends, they're really cool, they're twins, and, when I met them, they had just gotten saved. Actually, how I met them was my young adult ministry, we were doing our thing, and then it was a summer nights thing, and my job was I was cutting popsicles. We were, like, passing out popsicles, and I had the scissors, and I was, like, cutting off, like, the tabs for the popsicles, and I met these kids that were, like, the most, like, Gen Z excited ADD kids that I'd ever met, and I cut, like, 20 popsicles open for them, like, they were just crushing it, and I just got to see them grow over the next couple years, the past couple years, and they're just these amazing godly men that are just still just as on fire for God, and it's like now they've gone through a whole journey, they're about to go and serve overseas for 2 years, doing,
oh,
like,
that's awesome.
incredible things, hiking through, like, foreign lands and stuff to find
Right.
unreached people groups and stuff like that, and I'm like, they're gonna be doing that, and I'm like, "Hey, I got a new T-shirt for sale," like, and I don't know, I just think that, there's a lot of times that it's like, it's not about us, I
Right.
think that that's the main thing that it comes down to is, I truly believe and it's not that, like, God He uses us all, He gives us all gifts for different reasons. I truly believe the work that they're about to do is way more important than anything that I'm about to do, and that's not for sympathy or anything. That's me realizing that so I can be the best supporter of them that I
Right.
can be, and that's what God needs me to be doing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awesome way to look at it, man. So the next segment we've got, one of our big segments that we try to do with everybody is I need a lick my skillet moment. I told you about that being a town in
Yeah.
Georgia, right? And just one of those kind of crazy moments that you've experienced. I mean, I think you've already shared a couple really interesting things, but it could be with music or outside of music or whatever.
Okay, a good lick my skillet moment. Um, shoot, let's see. I was thinking that was a food thing. I misheard. I heard skillet, and then I was oh, uh, and I was like, man, I front loaded with a lot of the food.
Right, right.
Uh, no, dude, just like an awesome. Wait, so is that like the sun? It's like I hear like an old lady kind of be like, "Well, lick my skillet. This is
Oh
a good-"
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, sick. Okay, dude. I mean, there's been so many awesome things. I mean, like on a grand scheme of things, like I grew up listening to Ring Collective and I got to go out on
Mhm.
tour with them
Oh,
and
that's
stuff like
awesome.
that. That's been really cool. I mean, just so many things. This whole past year has been a lick my skillet moment. I'm trying to think of one super special. Yeah, it's a weird one, but being on a tour bus for the first time, that
Right.
was really something that I never really thought that one thing I've always had I've always found enjoyments in really small things, and then I've always just had to work pretty hard for things to turn out right. So, because of that, I've always had very high expectations for what I would be able to accomplish through hard work, but, like,
Mhm.
really, like, low standards of quality of life and stuff like that. So, I always thought that if I would tour around, it would be me and my in a Honda Accord, and I'd have my guitar in the back and stuff like that,
Right.
and then, God worked his ways for different reasons and stuff like that, and I remember stepping onto the bus for the first time. I'm like, "This is insane." Like, I get to be on a tour bus. That's wild. And then I ended up, being on the top bunk, and I fell out of the top bunk. For legal reasons, I did not injure myself, and, but I think, like, that whole moment and then it was really cool, my my parents before this past tour, um, they were hanging out with me in Nashville. Just I didn't get to see them a ton this year because I was traveling and stuff so much, and so before the fall tour kicked off, they came to Nashville, and we were hanging out and stuff, and then, um they dropped me off at the bus, and that was, like, a really cool moment for me of,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's something like, my dad being in music and stuff, that's something he's dreamed about and stuff is, like, getting to go on tour and stuff like that, so, like, I don't know, just being able to, like, see my parents in that moment and stuff like that, and just kinda realize the full circle and recognize the dedication of how much they've sacrificed and what all they've put up with and how much they've believed in me and encouraged me, for me to get to the point that it's like, I can have this one bunk on this one bus and tour around, and, like, that's a lick my skillet moment, man.
Oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Like I can imagine how proud they were and everything, and just man, that's huge.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, one of the things with your creative songwriting, I'd love to hear one day lick my skillet somehow getting into a song.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
you
No,
know,
I think it's definitely possible. I think it's I kinda like that as, like, I've been trying to think, like, rappers and stuff, they do, like, their little tags and stuff at the
right, right.
like, that could be I just need someone to be like, "Lick my skillet." Bow,
Oh.
before the beat hits or something,
Yeah,
like
man. Well,
yeah.
we'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we'll have
I think
royalty
with the next
checks.
project, I think there's a lot of
Right.
room for stuff like that, so
Now, are you off tour right now or on tour, about to get ready for one
I
or what?
I am. I'm off tour. I'm kind of in the slowdown season. I have as of today. When does the episode come out? What's the turnaround on it?
The first one will come out.
This one will come out next Monday. It'll come out Monday.
It'll come out not Monday, but the following Monday.
Okay, sick. So by the time that people are hearing this, I'm all done. I have one
Okay.
show
Okay.
on the 15th, little private event that I'm really looking forward to. It'll be a really fun way to kind of wrap up the year. But
Mhm.
yeah, then I'm done for the year. But then in January, I'm doing a handful of my first like headlining shows. So
Oh, that's
it's
awesome, man.
I'm playing a show in Atlanta, Georgia, or it's actually Decatur, Georgia, but for the
Yeah. Oh
sake
yeah.
in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm playing a show at Eddie's Attic there.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. I've heard of that.
and that'll be I'm really excited about that. And then I'm playing Rock the Universe in Orlando, Florida, which that'll be a sick festival. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
That's the same night that I'm playing, Switchfoot and Forrest Frank are both playing.
Oh,
So
nice,
Wow.
They have some real competition with me now, and
Dude.
and then I'm playing a show in Jacksonville, Florida too. So all those are headliner, or except for the festival, all those are headliner, but all
Right.
those are 45, 60-minute sets at least. And it's just going to be a party. So I'm really excited for kicking off the year with that. And we'll see. I have no clue. I've never tried to like sell tickets to my own show and stuff. Could be 5 people, could be, a
Right.
couple hundred. Who knows? We'll see. But if you guys or anyone listening to this has any friends in Georgia or Florida,
Yeah.
please beg them to go to the show. I need that ticket sale. So yeah.
Well, I've got a couple brothers that like work in Jacksonville, live in St. Augustine, so I'll talk to them about that.
Yeah.
And we're only about 2 hours from your Atlanta show, so we may try to make it down there,
We
man.
might need to do a in-person episode then. Live from
Hey, that'd be
We'll
awesome.
do it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. So I've actually wanted to go to Eddie's Attic. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know who Eddie is, but I'm excited to be in his attic.
Right.
I'm a big fan of attics. I never really had I always thought it was cool in movies and stuff like that. Like, this time of year we watch Christmas Vacation. It's like
Mhm.
they have kind of a cool attic that's actually functional.
Right.
Ours was just filled with like rotting wood and insulation.
Right.
Right.
So, I never got to hang out in it, but I'm excited to play music in an attic. That should be fun.
I mean, I think that might be the best way to get to know someone by their attic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not touching foot in our attic. I will.
Right.
I'm really concerned. I don't know. It's hard to get to. It's never been touched.
Well, that's
Yeah.
all right. When we recorded last week, we did an episode with the dancing umpire from the Savannah Bananas.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, and Austin kept hearing something like in the attic. So he's like, I think we have a friend up there.
Well, that's also like in any scary movie, that's where the demons always are too. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
right.
for the most part, I'm trying to stay away from attics. That seems like unclaimed land, and
They can have it.
yeah,
Honestly, they can have the land.
it. It's like that's not my attic. I rebuke that. They can't have my attic, not in my house. But but attics as a whole, dude, that's that's one of those things there that it seems like from what I can tell, the demons really like the attic.
Right.
I think all the Puritans that first moved to America, they were pretty big on like that. They thought that the demons liked the woods and stuff, and the woods was
Mhm.
unclaimed land and stuff like that. And so there's this time of year. There's always well, it wasn't always. As of recently, I've started hearing debates about Christmas tree or no Christmas tree and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to step on any toes. I always had a Christmas tree, but I think artificial Christmas tree is the way to go because if demons are in the woods, maybe there's one in that live one, but I think the artificial one is definitely safe.
Yeah.
Uh, now get yourself a live Christmas tree, unless you don't think. I agree with whatever someone else believes. When it comes to, but yeah, you do you. That's I think both Christmas tree havers and non-Christmas tree havers will be living it up in heaven around a Christmas tree. And I'll say, I was right. You were wrong.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I'm ready to be right a lot about stuff in heaven. I'm excited for that. I'm going to get a lot of told you so moments. I think I'm pretty dead on with most of my beliefs. So we'll see. A lot of theological debates are going to be settled, and I look forward to be on the right side of it.
Right. Save me a seat.
Yeah.
Save me a seat.
Well, Austin's got a little game for you.
Do we want to
Let's
do it?
do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Because what I think we're going to end up doing, man, we might make this 2 episodes, actually.
Oh,
'Cause
sick.
we went over a little longer than normal. Do you still have a little time?
Yeah, dude, I have nothing else on my calendar.
All right, he's got show the 15th.
He's got nothing until the 15th, so we're good. All right, so these are like common, like, you'll know these like worship songs. I'm just going to give you like a line or a lyric, that's pretty well known, and you have to fill in the blank, but wrong answers only.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll be pretty easy,
Okay.
All right, I'll start with an easy one. Okay. He is jealous of me, loves like a...
Sorry. I'm bad on the spot. He's jealous of me, loves like a zoo.
Amen. That could work.
Is that the direction? Is that how I play the game? Just
that's how you play the game,
Whatever
man.
comes to your mind. Man.
Zoo is
You're the creative
Zoo
here.
is something, man.
Yeah, zoos,
Okay.
zoos are wild. He loves wild. I love it. Okay.
Team Sloppy Wet, by the way. Speaking of that song,
Same. Keep
Yep.
it sloppy and wet.
keep it artistic. Yep.
That's the better version by far.
Honestly, zoos are sloppy and wet, so maybe that's why
Yeah.
you chose zoo. Like I think
Dude,
of
I just think
giraffe.
about
You
zoos
know?
a lot. Honestly, I'm a pretty big zoo guy.
Yeah.
I have big
Dude,
plans for zoos. Yeah.
in Nashville, y'all have that crazy bird, the cassowary or whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, that thing will kill somebody.
I don't know what that
Yeah.
Like it is a gnarly bird. Like it. If you don't believe in dinosaurs, like exactly how they prescribe them, and you
Depends
say
on
that,
the day. Depends on the day for me. I'm going to be honest. What podcast did I last listen to? 'Cause Dusty Slay has some convincing arguments.
oh, Dusty, man,
Oh.
like we've talked about it, right? So like the thing is, they say that the T-Rex is closest to like a chicken DNA wise and everything. And you see a chicken with its feathers off and everything, and we got turkeys too. It's pretty crazy.
Oh,
But
dude, turkeys are, those are dinosaurs.
But
Oh,
this thing right here, man, the cassowary, it's legit like a dinosaur.
It is a bird?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it'll kill someone.
Yeah.
And if it does
I've never
kill
seen one.
someone, that's my idea for a zoo, is all these animals that kill people, because people are like, zoos are prisons. Let's
like a
put the ones
prison.
that deserve to be in prison somewhere, So
Right.
like, I just want a zoo that it's all these animals committed. A lot of it would end up being murder, but
Right.
like just like bad acts. And then we have like their like name and their description and then the news article describing what they did. Like it would be pretty interactive there.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's a great idea, because like people don't want like a sweet animal like
No.
put there, but like one that's doing some time.
It's
Yeah.
like it deserves this. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah, look at you. Monkey.
and I feel like if a bird wanted to kill someone, it would probably be you.
Birds are evil. I've never seen this bird.
dude.
Yeah,
it's-
you gotta look it up. It's gnarly.
It's insane.
And that was just in Nashville, like for a week.
Hey, I'll send you a picture of my turkey's foot the other day, because I sent it on our family text thread, and I was like, "Tell me that's not a dinosaur."
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
dinosaurs or turkeys. You guys heard it here first.
All right, next song lyric. Okay. Come, now is the time to.
Hit the Dougie.
Okay. Okay, I like it. All
I
right.
don't even know
well,
that was the Dougie. That definitely wasn't the Dougie. That was something else.
I wasn't going to say anything, but that's not the
you're,
Dougie. No.
you're like, I know when I see it.
Like, dude's trying to dance when we had Dancing Umpire on last week.
Dude, I wish that I could dance so bad. That's one of my things. Like, and I do, like, I move around a lot. I'm trying to learn the Charleston. I've never been able to dance, and gosh, I wish that I could.
Right. All right, I'll give you one more. How great is our.
Love of Christmas tree cakes, dude.
That came really quick. I think you've been
Yeah.
thinking about these chocolate. I'll get your address and I will send you a box.
Bro, I'm gonna have a box before 6:00 tonight. Hey, that's
Sometimes they're hard to find. Like Kroger may have some. They may
dude,
have some. But
we're
like
pretty
Walmart.
stocked in our town. So I go to people have all different views. I love my mega church. I go to a amazing church that happens to be really big, and I think that my pastor, his affinity for the Christmas tree cakes has forced the local like companies to like buy a lot more of them, because he just mentions them on Sunday. Then you know how addictive they are. We all start
Right.
thinking about them, and during December, that's a every Sunday conversation. There's gonna be some analogy that comes back to those Christmas tree cakes. Because of that, we are very well stocked in my town. Like I feel like this has to be a Christmas tree cake capital because of my pastor.
That's all. Well, next time you come to Chattanooga,
Right.
man, we'll take you to the Little Debbie factory.
It's here, Chattanooga.
Dude, yeah, that's Mecca. That's like a Mecca for me. That's like,
There's a park here with a Christmas tree cake statue.
Yeah.
Year round.
dude, that's insane. That's a sick park. So I live in Hendersonville, Tennessee, which is about 30 minutes outside of Nashville. But our park we have the Taylor Swift park because she went to high school here. So it's just like a normal park, but then there's just flags that say Taylor Swift everywhere. And so I could use some Little Debbie's is what I'm saying. I could use the Little Debbie park. I've seen
Listen,
the T-Swift
this
one.
Little Debbie park, there's an oatmeal cream pie statue. There's a Nutty Buddy statue.
There's
Dude,
a
I just
foot
crushed some Nutty Buddies yesterday. I was in the
Listen.
airport. They had the pack that it's like the 3 big ones, dude, and
Yeah.
it'd been a minute since I had it. So my first one, I just ate it like it was like a Snickers bar, and then my other ones, I started breaking it layer by layer. You know, do a little like what's it? What's the people that they dig for dinosaur bones? What are they called?
Archaeologist.
Archaeology. I was doing some Nutty Buddy archaeology, man. I was taking it layer by layer. I was
Layer
examining
by layer.
layers. Yeah.
Listen, the best one, talking about oatmeal cream pies, are the double deckers from gas stations.
Dude, those are great, but man, I'll turn 2 single ones into a double decker. You know,
Man,
Nothing's stopping you with Little Debbie, man. I love
dude,
it.
it's really hard. Me and little Debbie, we go way back. That's my homegirl, you know?
One of my buddies, he actually, they're Adventist. And one of my buddies went to church with her, and he said she wasn't very little.
I don't think you can be little.
Right. She'd been taking some product.
You're eating fudge rounds and Nutty Buddies like for breakfast, man. Shoot. I've been doing that for years. That's why I'm not little. But.
No, but all right. So a question before we get into our little final game.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to, let's say you were really needing some security, okay, and you're just needing some protection, which denomination are you picking from?
Oh,
So, you mean like physical security?
Yeah. You're needing somebody that's gonna handle some stuff.
Dude, I've done a lot of shows and stuff that it ends up being the biker churches end up coming out to it. I'm calling that biker church, dude. You're not messing with them, dude. I'm scared of their guys, man. They're awesome. They're like some of the best people. I love it. They all used to be drug addicts, and then now they're Christians, and like
Yeah.
they're like they love taking like AC/DC songs and making them Christian and stuff like that. But like I know that they're scrappy too, man. They're not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That
they're
may be
on
the best
south side of
answer.
heaven. You know, that's like
They still got a little flesh on them. You know,
yeah,
he's still
dude,
working
they
on.
still got
Yeah.
just the they still got that handlebar mustache and like
Right.
you know, then everything, dude. I love they have like I've been given the motorcycle patches and stuff that are the Christian ones and stuff, and
Yeah.
like, dude, those are some bad good dudes. You know, that's
Dude, that's great because we've asked similar questions to a few different people, and the cowboy church or the motorcycle church that hadn't come up yet.
I
You
know.
know,
oh,
That's
the
like the
cowboy
best
church.
answer.
That's another great. That's a
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
But a common one is like Pentecostal, because they got a lot of energy, and then the Adventists, they're gonna live the longest,
Yeah,
and then Catholics because they're getting up and down so much, they're staying in shape.
Yeah.
So I mean.
I'm kind of liking the biker church.
But
Like, that's the best
I
answer.
think the
That makes
biker
sense.
church.
I would choose them.
Yeah, what about like a Royal Rumble biker church versus the cowboy church? That'd be wild, man.
dude.
I
That's
gotta take it.
I think about the nominations all the time on the road because that's always I'll be in meet and greet and someone will, they'll be like, "Hey, can I pray for you?" And then that's always my question is like, it depends. What denomination are you? Because I have like 30 seconds, man. So if you're AOG, you probably don't get, if you're Southern Baptist, yeah, go ahead and pray for me right now. That's going to be short, sweet, and
Right.
yeah. But man, it's like if you're Pentecostal, I want that prayer. You just pray for me as you're walking out and as throughout the show and stuff. But it's like I got to be changing on stage in about 15 minutes, and I just think that that's half of a prayer for you guys.
The first church I was a youth pastor at was a Southern Baptist church. And we had, everybody did like the short prayers. If I prayed, preacher prayed, anybody. But we had 2 dudes in the church. And they would pray, man. That like it's like a script, like they were reading or something. So the sound guy was like one of my best friends, and we would actually bet oatmeal cream pies on like over unders.
Yeah.
Like on how long they would take. And one dude one time, this is like the opening prayer before service even starts. It was like 4 minutes and 26 seconds. I remember that to this day. And it was just like the welcome prayer. And I'm like, bro,
It's a lot.
like we're not at the altar. We're not, none
Dude,
of this is happening yet.
Christians are real good at using prayer time to say whatever they want to talk about.
Right.
That is true.
That's whether that's gossip, whether that's just they had a little sermon that they weren't allowed to preach. or they just have some opinions about some things, that's
Yeah.
really good at being like, I need to pray about something. God, I'm not saying who, but he's one of the guys here. He should be convicted about some things that he's doing in life. And if he would have come and talked to me, then I could have straightened him out. But now I need you to do it. We are real good about that. My favorite is the sermon, though, dude, that it's like they get into it and it starts out, dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for providing us, God. And thank you for the story of Jacob. And in that story, we see this and this and this and this. And it's like, come on, man, you talking to us or talking to God? That's
They got like a 3-point prayer.
yeah. The Lord's Prayer isn't even that long. That's like, if that was good enough for Jesus, then I think that's good enough for Malcolm. That's
No, dude, that's so true. And one of the things, so I went around to all kinds of churches, man. I grew up Catholic, went to Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal. I kind of dipped in everything, right? And I remember when I was little, they would have the testimony services, like in a lot of the like Pentecostal churches.
Yeah.
And dude, like I love hearing somebody's testimony. Like that just brings so much joy to see what God's done in their life. But you would have people talk 45 minutes about what Satan's done and then but God.
Yeah.
And that'd be it. Like I'm just like, I want to hear more about what God's done in your life.
Dude, and this isn't my own thing, but I've just heard people talk about it, and I've experienced it. Then it's top that testimony. The joke is always like the first person did drugs, the second person sold them the drugs, the third person killed someone. It's like it's really a bummer if I go after the drug guy. That's
Right. It's like I just had a bad day, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Listen, I grew up Pentecostal, and we had a game called Name That Saint that we would play.
Okay.
Because, being Pentecostal, we get a little, you can sing Jingle Bells in some churches and they're going to like take a lap, it doesn't take much to get them excited.
Yeah.
And so I grew up in a pretty charismatic church, and sometimes more services, more times than not. So we'd play a game like in youth group, like if it was like a long service, and you would have to act like somebody more or less. And you have to name the saint that you're like impersonating from last week. Like, guess who I am? Oh, I know who you are. Your brother. I won't say names. Or your sister Bonnie. Whoever. Like,
dude,
yeah.
So I grew up Southern Baptist, but the thing is, in my town, it was a really small town. So like, if the Pentecostal church was doing a revival, I was their drummer. Because I was the drummer in town.
Yeah.
And dude, that's I one of actually the most valuable things in my show. Every single time there will be a moment that I yell, "Do we want to have a Holy Ghost hoedown?" And everyone, generally the action is like, yeah, like let's have some fun with it. Man, I learned that though because I was leading worship, and the worship leader spontaneously goes into "I saw the light," and then the congregation, someone yells, "It's a Holy Ghost hoedown," and someone blew a ram's horn, dude, and they were doing a giddy up for God, and it's like
giddy up
that's
for
forever
God.
ingrained in my brain. That's
Dude,
Yep.
dude, I've got a ram's horn. So if you need me to bring it down to Eddie's attic,
yeah.
man,
Bring that. Don't even ask. Just pull it up. Yeah, that's nothing like a ram's horn when you're not expecting it.
Right.
Who doesn't love a shofar in the middle
man.
of a
Dude,
concert?
I did not grow up around the shofar. And then the first time experiencing the shofar, dude, I thought Jesus was coming back, man. I was like, that's like
It'll scare the hell out of you, literally. It'll scare.
yeah.
It's not even cursing. The hell will be out. Like, there's no more. I remember one time as a kid, we was at a big conference and someone had a shofar and I wasn't paying attention. I was sitting down. I legit thought the rapture was taking place. I remember grabbing onto my mom's skirt. Cause I was like, if she's going, I'll like fly along with her. Like that was my like rationale.
Oh, dude, constantly scared of the rapture as a kid. Anytime I would go home and I'd wake up in the morning and my parents said like they were out on a walk or something like that.
Right.
I was like, I guess I got to rededicate myself to Christ again because, I guess I missed it this time. And,
right.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah, being by myself, I hated because I'm older than you guys, so I watched Growing Pains and then all the Left Behind series.
Yeah.
had to read those books, man. And anytime you're by yourself, especially if there's a jacket on the couch or something, you're like, uh-oh.
Dude, so for me, it was the duality too of like, yeah, Left Behind being scared of the rapture and stuff, but then I also saw the movie Red Dawn at a pretty young age. And so I was always scared of like China or Russia invading our country and stuff like that, and me losing cell service and stuff like that. Like in middle school, I remember there was just like one time that like, I don't know, I had an old flip phone or something, so it was just having a slow time connecting. And I was like, oh, they released an EMP or whatever, and cell phone's off, and I'm gonna have to fight Russians now. Like I just thought that that was my childhood. I was like, I'm not gonna make it to 20. Either we're gonna be invaded or I'm gonna be raptured. It's one of the two.
Right.
So,
Dude, did COVID like give you some PTSD?
no,
Like,
that made me feel like I was right about some stuff. That's
Right.
dude, that was a whole group of people. Like I knew so many, and was related to some people that when COVID hit, it was like, this is what I've been waiting for. I've been telling you guys about this. And you know what? They were right, I guess. But yeah, no, dude, it's that's all that stuff that like, I mean, it's fun now to joke around, but like as a kid, I was like legitimately scared of that stuff. And not to get on theological rant and stuff, but just kind of the older that I've gotten and reading the Bible for myself, some of my views on some stuff like the end times and stuff has shifted a little bit and stuff. And just not trying to force anyone else to believe what I believe on that, but just like my encouragement, anyone scared of that stuff is just remember Revelation, it was written to encourage the church.
Right. Yeah.
So any of that stuff, any of the story of the Bible, if you're leaving it feeling scared, man, that's not I don't think that that's what God wants for you.
Right.
There is some scary stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even the story of the cross, man, it's like there is death, there's suffering, but man, there's life on the other side. And I was just reading in Romans today, it was talking about, it was like when if God saved us when we were enemies of Christ, how much more are we being saved now?
Right.
Mhm.
So it's like, man, God is a God that, yeah, he curses to the second and third generation, but he blesses to the 100th or the 1,000th, however that verse goes. It's like, there's so much more good. And God wants us to have this lightness. He says that his yoke is easy and his burden is light, So if we're walking around with these thoughts and stuff that just make us scared to get out of bed in the morning, man, I do. Because I know that that's probably real for someone.
Right.
God has something better for you than that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
That's
that's
good.
awesome, man. That's a good word.
Yeah.
You know, y'all got me thinking when you talking about the shofars. It reminded me we had a guy who had in the church, and he had what's called they call it the widow maker's heart attack, right? And he survived it, right? And he comes into church that next week, and dude had like a Moses staff, right? Like this huge staff, man. And it looked like he carved it up himself, it wasn't like, polished up or anything. And he's just like, as he would talk, like, especially if anybody was starting to lose interest or something, man, he'd bang that thing down.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude, like, it's his first time ever speaking in front of the church. And it's also the first time I ever heard somebody from the pulpit cuss, because he says, I don't give a D what Satan's trying to do. And we're all just like, everybody's like mouth dry. I mean, we're just like, what?
They're like, heck yeah, brother.
And you should see the pastor just like sink down in his seat.
Dude, that always is, and I've heard a pastor talking about this, but my favorite compliment to get from someone at one of my shows is if they walk up and they say, man, that was a hell of a show. I'm like,
Right.
let's go. Okay, you're new to this, and I love it, man. Like, let's
Right.
go. Like, we're reaching some people.
Right. No, that's awesome, man. Well, I want to do one last quick game. You've stayed on for a long time, and I appreciate that, man.
Hey,
This has
anytime, guys.
It's been a really fun
Even just on
episode.
FaceTime. If you guys just want to FaceTime me on Mondays, man, I'll do it.
Hey, sounds good, man. Anytime but the 15th. You're busy the 15th.
Yeah.
But so I want to do rapid fire, okay? So I'm just going to ask a question and give first answer off your mind. So, all right, we're going to go ahead. Favorite musician?
Favorite musician? I absolutely love Jim Croce. He's my favorite songwriter of all time.
Awesome. Awesome. Your dream collab?
Dream collab, dude. I've always loved Keith Urban. So like something like if I could ever do something with Keith Urban, that would be
All right.
sick. Yeah.
Awesome. Go-to food on the road?
Go-to food on the road. I try to keep it a little bit clean when it comes to my main meals. So I do a lot of like chicken and rice and stuff, but then I normally destroy it. There's cheesecake a lot of times at catering. It's really hard for me to pass on cheesecake. So chicken, rice, and cheesecake is kind of my go-tos.
Okay. Worst gig weather.
Dude, worst gig weather, just anytime that it's cold. That's the
Right.
worst, man. I'll play where, like, when it's hot, it gets to the point that, like, the sweat's in your eye and stuff, and that stings, but, like, you can play through that. If it's rainy, that's actually always cool. People get bummed out, but it's, like, the coolest moments in shows ever is, like, it's pouring out rain, it's like, "We're sticking through it anyway," and
Right,
then everyone
yeah,
just
right.
buys it, like, that's the best. But, dude, if it's just cold, it's like, man, no one even wants to be outside right now. What are we doing?
right.
You know?
All right. And the go-to coffee or drink order.
Go-to coffee or drink order, specifically right now, what I've been doing is I get a matcha latte and I get peppermint put in it.
Okay.
So I
Oh.
can't do, dude, any, like, black coffee or espresso. I get paranoid. I start, like, calling my parents because 'cause I'm just like, "I'm nervous. I need to, like, let them know I'm okay." But, yeah, like, some matcha, and then more than any of that, unfortunately, is I drink a lot of Celsius, especially when I'm out on the road. That's kinda my go-to caffeine source.
So your
See?
brother over here the
We're
same.
opposites, man. Yeah.
Listen, Celsius and Alani, man, a monster.
Dude, I had, this weekend it was a blue raspberry Celsius, and it tastes just like a blue raspberry Jolly Rancher. That's the best thing
Yeah,
I've ever drank,
that's a
man.
good one.
Yeah.
I like the Bucked Up brand. Have you seen Bucked Up?
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
300 milligrams of caffeine. It's no joke.
Dude, that's epic, though.
It's a
I got
shame.
one for a little bit. I got on the grinds, the little pouches of caffeine.
Mhm.
I've never done that.
Dude,
My
so
son has some of those.
you're better off not to. I was, like, really, like, I was doing them, like, I was doing them on the road last year, and then I just know my mom works for a dental office. I'm like, anything that you're putting up against your gut just
Mhm.
can't be good.
Yeah.
But this year, I stopped after a few days because I was like, "What is that?" And it was like my skin ripping off inside my lips. So,
Oh,
but man, dude,
yeah.
I get why people get hooked on all that stuff, man. But
Oh, yeah.
So I was never a coffee guy, and right after I got married, like this is, before we're going on our honeymoon, we're at this like Marriott, and there's a Starbucks downstairs, and she's like, "Oh, just go get me an espresso," and I'm like, "All right, cool." So I go down there, and I'm like, "Hey, I just need an espresso," and they're like, "Okay." They looked at me kind of weird. So dude just hits one squirt of this stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, I mean, that's not gonna fill her up. I need let me get like 6 of those." And he just throws 6 of them in the cup, and I'm like, "All right, I guess that'll do." So I carry it up to the room, and she was being so sweet, like, and still drank it because, like, she felt bad because I've never ordered coffee.
right.
And to that point in my life, I think I had 1 cup of coffee when I was, like, 12, and I thought I wanted to drink coffee.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was wild. I'm like, "Who did I marry after this?"
Dude, 6 cups of espresso, that's the equivalent to like, "Hey, kid, smoke this pack of cigarettes so that you'll never
Right.
wanna smoke it again." You
Well,
know?
Right.
she did start
Right.
smoking after that, and it became a problem. I'm just
You kinda have to after 6 shots of espresso.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
you
Yeah,
pack
dude.
of Camels and call it a night.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
That's
but,
like, "Hey, I'm fine with it." You know, you do whatever you need, settle down, dude. Gosh, nothing makes me wanna smoke, and I've never smoked cigarettes, but nothing makes me wanna do that more than being in the music industry.
right.
Yeah.
One, it would just look so cool, and, like, I know that it'd be a bad example for the kids, it wouldn't be good for my lungs, any of that, but, dude, I go
Right.
out on stage sometimes, I'm like, "How much cooler would this be if I just rip the cigarette, put it in my headstock, hit that first chord?" I'm not gonna do that in case anyone's listening to this that's like, "Oh, should we go out to the show?" I'm not gonna do that, but, man, it would look cool, you know?
It would look cool.
What about candy cigarettes, man? I
Dude,
used to
candy
like
cigarettes are
those.
pretty sick. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love candy cigarettes, dude. My whole life, I've always, like, and it probably is just because I'm a sinful human, I've always liked the candy cigarettes and the beef jerky that looks like the dip can, you know, like, I've
Oh,
always
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I know
like
exactly.
bad vices,
Right.
just living on that edge. I don't know. It's like,
Listen, man, we used to we'd go to the fellowship hall as kids and find the communion glasses and pretend they were shot glasses.
yeah,
And we would fill them up with whatever drink and pretend we were taking shots
yeah.
in the fellowship hall.
Dude, the way that I met one of my absolute best friends, shout out Tim if you're listening to this, was I was volunteering at a young adult ministry, and I was the new guy and Tim was the other new guy. And our young adult pastor, he was this guy who now is one of my absolute best friends. His name's Gabe. And Gabe is Cuban, which only matters for the impression that I do anytime that I do his voice. But I was just looking for ways to get involved and help out and stuff. And we had taken communion that night. And I was like, yo, Gabe, is there any way that I can help like clean up or anything? He was like, bro, like you and Tim, you guys just need to get rid of all that juice. So we go back. I mean, there's a table filled with all the juice and stuff, and it's all poured out in the little cups.
Yeah.
And he didn't tell us anyway. Like, I'm new to this church. It's a really big church. I don't know like where the sinks are or anything like that. So like, dude, the way I see it is you and I have to drink all of this. But dude, that was our first experience, was like, we were like, hey, communion's done. This is just grape juice. We lined it up. I mean, I was going for it. I'm like good for communion for years, you know?
Right. You're set. You're set.
Never thought about like just, pre-communioning, so you're just always,
It's not pre-gaming, pre-communion.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
was good for like 4
you know?
months. Yeah.
that's awesome, dude. Well, if you could, just let everybody know where to find your music, how to find you. And if there's any upcoming projects or shows you want to plug, I know you mentioned a couple of them already.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So Eli Gable Music on Instagram and TikTok. And then if you guys want to listen to the actual music, it's just Eli Gable, and it's all caps. But if you just search Eli Gable, then it should pop up. And as far as like I said, I have those shows coming up in Jacksonville, Florida, in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm super excited for those. So that's going to be in January. So if you need, someone that likes Christian music or something, looking for a Christmas gift, there you go. That's a good kind of like last minute one. Get them some tickets to some live music. And working on new music next year should be really exciting. Can't announce any of the plans, but it's just going to be, if things all go according to the way that we're talking about them going now, it should be a really good year for new music, which I'm pumped about. And y'all, I feel like Merry Christmas. I feel like I haven't addressed the fact like this is going to be like the week before Christmas that this comes out. So, before any of that stuff, and enjoy your families, go to church, enjoy that. And just have a good holiday season. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Well, ROJO family, I know you had a blast. We had a blast, and y'all definitely need to check Eli out. Check out his music. Head to Jacksonville. It's not far. From wherever you are, you can get there. And then, if you're in the Atlanta, Chattanooga area, check out Eddie's Attic. We're gonna explore it too, I believe. So, it's gonna be fun, man. And this guy is like so awesome, so down to earth, has phenomenal music. My son messaged him the first night he heard his music, and he's like, dude, your music really touched me. And then Eli had messaged him back, and it just like was so beautiful to him. He's like, this dude's incredible, Dad.
Yeah.
And so I'm a huge fan. I know Austin's a fan. I know my 16-year-old's a huge fan. And but you guys listen to his music, because as fun of a guy he is, he also puts out incredible music. And man, we loved having you on, brother.
Yeah, man.
No, guys, this was great. Thank you so much for having me on. This was, like I said, anytime. This was a blast.
All right. Well, ROJO family, until next time, see ya.
All right. Love you guys.
Stop. You can stop
You
it.
got it? Yeah.